Southwest.
Good morning, good noon, good evening, wherever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark, the realist, Ali,
what up?
Hip Hop's godson, and myself, Nesquik, and together,
that's Hip Hop.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really does mean a lot. Thank you guys for those who have been supporting us. It really does mean a lot. We're on a road to 2,000 subs on YouTube, so let's keep it up and keep it going. Today we're discussing hip-hop's most innovative and influential groups of all time, known for their live instrumentation, jazzy-infused sounds, their socially conscious lyricism. Unlike most hip-hop cats that rely on sampled beats, no, the Roots have built their signature style around live drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, creating a rich, organic sound that blends jazz, funk, and soul with a classic boom-bap touch. Their music often features intricate drum patterns, courtesy of Questlove, deep bass grooves, and live improvisation, making them a standout in both recorded music and live performances. Black Thought, the group's lead MC, widely respected for his razor-sharp lyricism, dense wordplay, and socially aware storytelling. He's really blossomed and really became in his own. Like, you know, people consider this guy the GOAT.
Yes.
You know, he's definitely up there, and it's really cool to see. They're defined by their longevity, artistic integrity, their cultural impact, emerging from Philadelphia in the early 90s, which wasn't an easy place to come out of. The Roots carved out a lane that infused hip-hop with live musicianship, influencing countless artists, and proving that rap could be performed with a full band without losing its raw energy. That just has not been done, ever. Executed
nowhere
that
near to
way.
this level.
No.
Nah.
And they've evolved from underground icons to mainstream staples, particularly through their role as the house band for The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. What an incredible game changer that was.
Oh, yeah.
For The Tonight Show to have on a hip-hop infused group, live instrumentation, it's a transcender. Like it's out of here. Albums like Things Fall Apart, even the one we're covering, Illadelph Halftime. I mean, these are considered classics, blending introspective lyricism and experimental production. Their ability to balance both commercial success and artistic credibility has really cemented them as one of the most respected groups in hip hop history. Bottom line, we're talking about their third studio album, Illadelph Halflife, released September 24th, 1996 on DGC and Geffen Records. It features a tougher and broader sound than their previous albums. The contributions were made by R&B musicians such as Abel and D'Angelo, and as well as jazz musicians, David Murray, Steve Coleman, Cassandra Wilson, Graham Haynes. This list could go on and on. Special guests on this were, just to mention a few, Dice Raw, Bahabadia, Raphael Sadiq, Common, D'Angelo, Q-Tip, just to name a few. In 1998, the album was selected as one of the Source's 100 best rap albums of all time. This album peaked at number 21 on the Billboard, number 4 on the U.S. top R&B hip-hop albums. Producers included Questlove, Black Thought, Kilo, Q-Tip, The Grand, Uma, Q-Tip's alias, the Uma, Raphael Sadiq, which is Scott Scorch, Chaos, L.A.J., Slim Kid, executive produced by Richard Nichols. The length of this album was 78 minutes and 45 seconds. Woo! This album was chosen by Mark on this one. Mark, what led you to choose this album for us to cover today?
We were in a good spot with this album, Isaiah, because we have the Roots finding their true sound with this album. It's going to be their second effort in their hip-hop career, and this second one, it usually takes a few albums to finally get a good feel for what you are, who you are, all that good stuff. And with the Roots and Illadelph Halflife, we have Black Thought finding himself rhythmically, lyrically. At this point, there's very few that can match the youth, ferocity, lyricism trifecta that he's kind of mastered at that point. And after that, it just goes higher and higher with him and the Roots together.
Yeah, because then you start leaning. Then the group kind of starts leaning on him to carry the group because Malik B was passing.
Right.
So it really did lean on him heavy for the lyricism.
And listening to this album, re-listening to it, because I actually had this in my on my iPod as a wee lad. Re-listening to it made me feel real good about like just trying to find that like good sound that's not from New York like I always like, and then I could find it a little closer in Philly, but you end up as we break down these lyrics, we're gonna find out the very special style that Black Thought has, to where there's times where it's like it always sounds cliche because we say it a lot, but he definitely makes it look easy. But damn, the lyricism's second to none when he's spitting. Yeah, and it's very, very known there.
Yeah, I think the delivery too really is showcased. Like the way he delivers it sounds cool. It's definitely you could see like how it progressed from the first two albums. It was kind of it's more raw. It was just kind of he was loud, but then he like really honed in and like just made it sharper. And you could tell like when you hear the track with him and Q-Tip or him and Common, like you could tell he's getting the better of them, and he's like one of the best out here. Like you could tell.
I mean, Questlove. I mean, he's told stories where I think he was talking. This is around the time I think they first met Jay-Z, and he was like, "Yo, man, like it's gonna be hard getting a lot of features with this guy because you don't see him on a lot of features." Because dudes are scared to get on songs with him. Yeah. Like, guys are going to be scared to do, like, he was saying this, I forget what year it was, but basically saying, like, a lot of rappers are going to be nervous about getting on songs with Black Thought. Like, you get Black Thought on a feature on your project, man, he may own your song. You know what I mean? And you got to be very comfortable in your own skin to know that that's a very high possibility. And, yeah, with Black Thought, I mean, just me personally, this is my personal opinion, I believe bar for bar he's the best rapper. That's just me. If I'm just talking strictly bars, to me he's the best. Again, everybody's gonna have their opinions, and that's all well fine and dandy. It's a beautiful thing about hip hop. It's subjective, but I'm not talking about storytelling and albums and all that. I'm just talking about put a beat on and rap. For me, Black Thought's the best. Period. Yeah. And his Hot 97 Funk Flex freestyle,
legendary freestyle.
That, and what I love about that freestyle, that's what put him on to a younger generation that didn't really know much about him. The youth, I'm talking about generations younger than us, they know Black Thought through that freestyle. Yeah, and then some of them went back and found out, he really was. Or
even somebody like me who didn't go through the whole album per se, so I really wasn't aware of Black Thought's prowess until that freestyle. Then I'm like, wait, what? Let me go back. Oh dang, this guy's been
insane. I mean, he was going so. I mean, it was like 9-10 minutes, and he's just going and going. I mean, he's going so hard, he's sweating through his hat. Like it was insane. Yeah. And for me, with Black Thought,
crazy background too, because Black Thought is somebody who's lost a lot. Yes, so he's lost a lot of family members. His mom and dad were murdered. Doesn't talk about it. He goes, "That's not what the Roots is about. I don't need to talk about it. Right? Like I'm in a good place. I move forward." And then I think somebody else close to him had Malik B.
Oh, Malik, he passed in 2020.
Yeah, he passed later, but
still losing him. Yeah, that was big. That was big.
So but I think he also went through a situation where he burned his house down. I mean, can you think about all these things adding up where your timeline could have ended up being? The alternate universe could have been him, turning to other things, like turning to a life of crime or whatever. But instead, he says Questlove happened to be there during that pivotal time and like was there for him. And then they ended up just jamming out. What I thought was cool is they started their group called Square Roots, the Square Root first. It was just Questlove and him. So just the drummer, him just rapping on the corner, like the square root. Like that's sick.
Yeah,
sick.
you can look up old videos of them just spitting.
And then the bass guy comes up, Leonard, I think, Hub, I think. But he comes up, starts doing the bass, and then one person after another, boom, boom, and then that just organically.
Form a whole band.
Yeah, formed a whole band.
And what's crazy is, as talented as the Roots are, they went to the same high school as Boys to Men, and they went into this big talent show, and they unfortunately lost. As Black Thought put it, Boys to Men had the cheat code of glitter. He said they had like this glitter in their top hats, and the girls would start swooning, and he's like, yeah, we couldn't compete with that. Yeah. But, like that's for them to be in that proximity of legendary group Boys to Men as well. But like to just be around that much greatness, and then for the Roots to become what they become, I mean, it's deeper than just their band. I mean, they became the soundtrack to one of my favorite conglomerates in the history of hip hop, the Soulquarians. Oh yeah. I mean, when you add in, Jay Dilla, Q-Tip, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Raphael Sadiq, kind of more of a
Common,
Common, yes. I mean, Erykah Badu, like it was just a whole D'Angelo,
the Man and Redman,
like it was this whole conglomerate of them. Like one of my favorite pictures in hip hop is just all of them. It's just this cool pose, and they're just all there, and it's just like wow. You see
they all happen to be Aquarius. All of them just happen to be Aquarius.
You just see all this talent just sitting there. And it's
but
just
that's cool because like that shows you like the magic of studio production. Like that had a legendary vibe already because Stevie Wonder produced tracks out of there, and then before that, Jimi Hendrix laid the grounds, the foundations of that. Yeah. So then you got D'Angelo coming through, wanting to do like his own version of these things, and then Questlove working with him and bringing the whole tribe.
It's amazing, man. It is.
And creating a movement. But when you have that kind of magic, like Mark, because you've done this with our homie before in the garage, like the magic of making music in the flow, like there's nothing like that magic. That's like the best you could ever have.
Yeah, from start to finish, creating a song like that, it's a beautiful marriage of thoughts and minds, and it's
a time capsule. Like
because you can literally have a story for whatever song ends up being successful, or even be like, man, I remember what we were doing when that song came around, or what we did and all that, so. I also want to mention too, guys, is that we're dealing with an MC who has arguably one of the most thought-provoking, forgive the pun, but one of the most thought-provoking MC names in Black Thought.
Absolutely.
To me, I don't know how much he thinks of it, but the idea of naming yourself Black Thought, the complete embodiment of like one's race subconscious. That holds a lot of responsibility from the outside looking in, and I hope that when coming up with that kind of name, like you just got to think, man, I can't come off whack
at all.
It makes you go off of other things because when you think scientifically or in the cosmos, you think of like black matter, or you think of like a black hole, like
being endless, limitless,
like a limitless.
There's so many different ways you can play off of that name.
Yeah, it's a dope, crazy name.
From race to science to matter to the opposite of light. Like it's just there's so many concepts within that, and the fact that he's so nice as an MC
adds to that.
It just makes it all the lore. Like I said, I feel like his work with the Roots is legendary in itself, and all the success they've had, and all the great records they've had. I think I'm pretty sure they have a Grammy. I think they won one. I'm pretty sure they have at least one Grammy. Right. I'm almost positive. I'm almost positive they have a Grammy. I think it was for "You Got Me." I want to say, but yeah. Despite all of that, years later, Black Thought starts doing like EPs with like Ninth Wonder and. He does
Grammy
stuff. Grammy
Award for Best Rap Performance.
Yes, well, You Got Me.
On the
I was pretty sure it was that. But yeah, later on, like I said, he started getting all this notoriety. Starts doing, like I said, EPs with Ninth Wonder. Starts doing these, collabs with, Rhapsody, and then Freddie Gibbs, Benny the Butcher. Like he starts spitting with all these other just high level spitters, and it's just like it's incredible. It's one of those things where it's like you almost wish you would have got it within the roots.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like the fact that we still were able to get a lot of these collaborations later is just so refreshing. And any chance to hear Black Thought rap is
it's a prize,
spectacle, man.
And then the fact that they went on to Jimmy Fallon's was a huge deal. I remember when that show was barely starting up, it was cool. You know, it was still a time where we go to TV and we go to that as prime time television. And this is a time when there was a lot of space. There was a vacuum created.
Yep.
You have Conan O'Brien leaving. You had
Craig Ferguson wanted to bounce out too.
He wanted to bounce out too. So there was a lot of space being created. Jay Leno was out for sure this time. No coming back. And then Johnny Fallon,
Carson, no one got a hold of him.
No one could get a hold of him. And then Jimmy Fallon's now like this new young buck who was about to take over television or the Tonight Show. There was no like Channel 2 was for their competing, late night television show. That was kind of dying and they didn't have anybody yet. And then so Jimmy Fallon has all this space to roam creatively. He could choose any band. It could have been any band of his choosing. He chooses the Roots. And that, like, it was so cool because I remember Questlove saying, like, we didn't take him seriously on that. Like,
right.
We didn't even really want to do it, but the fact that Jimmy Fallon came to us, I think somewhere in New York or wherever they were at doing something, he came over there and, like, physically was just like, hey, will you guys be a part of my show? Like,
it's amazing.
Then he was just like, okay, all right, let's do this. Like,
now, I don't know the full story behind this, but this is just me guessing, just from what I know. I believe a huge part of that was their impact on the Chappelle Show and Dave Chappelle putting them on TV. Dave Chappelle, his Dave Chappelle's Block Party.
Yeah, that's true.
Putting that in theaters.
Very true.
I really believe that
so
was.
True.
I don't know if that connected those dots with Fallon later on, but I'm gonna believe that helped their profile at least. If nothing else, it definitely put them more on the radar for somebody like Fallon, who was up and coming in the late night space, to make that move happen and make that choice.
That's so true.
Not to say that had the Chappelle connection never happened, that he still might not have asked for him.
Yeah. But
I do think that Dave Chappelle connection helped bring them to those wider audiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's part of what made Chappelle's show so great was he was putting, hip hop on TV, artists, but not the typical, right? Like not the, he was putting, Mos Def and Talib Kweli and Common and Kanye West before anybody else. You know what I mean? Before
like the lyricist guys.
Way before Kanye blew up, he was the first one to put Kanye on TV, the Roots on TV. Like he really was, De La Soul, who probably hadn't done anything big on TV like that since Arsenio. You know what I mean? So like that whole Dave Chappelle connection with the Roots and the Soulquarians, I think also helped build their profile. I mean, again, the Fugees, they reunited at Chappelle's Block Party. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like his connection with the Roots is, it's hard to even put in words. Yeah. It's so important.
I was going to ask you guys, when it comes to like doing a show like that, like having a long-term residence doing Jimmy Fallon, do you lose out as a group? Like, couldn't they been doing more shows? And
ask them how many zeros are on that check per episode.
They're fine. I mean, the way I've heard it described was, I remember hearing Questlove kind of talk about it, but he was like, for the first time in our careers, we have a day job. You know what I mean? Like we haven't been able, obviously they've done well in all different, facets of their career, but I'm almost guaranteeing them landing this gig and what it's grown to, they're fine. Yeah. And the beautiful part is, while they don't quote unquote tour like they used to, they still do the Roots Picnic every year. I don't know what year it started, but it's their own festival they do in Philly every year.
And they helped out Rock the Bells too on some of their
events
too.
Yeah. So they've done that as well. And like I said, they've done the Roots Picnic for a few years, and
at
to the point
at the bowl, the Hollywood Bowl.
Well, no, the Roots Picnic is in Philly, so they do it in Philly every year. But this year they're actually doing a version of it in LA at the Hollywood Bowl. Yes, but their actual festival, the Roots Picnic. Like I said, I don't know what year it started, but they've done it for many years in Philly, and it'll be all kind of hip hop, R&B artists, and they'll always have a set with Black Thought, going over beats, going over stuff with Quest. Like it's amazing. They'll bring certain artists performing a classic album from that, anniversary year or something like that. They'll bring R&B artists. Like they'll have random years. Like they'll have newer people like Rhapsody or like I'm trying to think of
like
other
do a
like
little
younger,
spotlight collab or something.
Yeah, they'll do younger artists too. Like it won't just be like legacy acts. Like they'll have younger artists come up there. It's something I've always wanted to go to. I've never was able to go, but maybe the one in, at the Hollywood Bowl I might be able to. But still, it's just what they've done with the Fallon gig has led them to the point where they don't have to necessarily go around the world anymore and tour.
You'd be surprised if they want to. They have made enough money per episode to probably they don't even need to make music anymore.
No, they haven't made an album in over 10 years.
It's so versatile too. Like their styles of music can switch up. Like on Jimmy Fallon's, they require you sometimes to do all sorts of music.
They play all kind of stuff.
They even have I mentioned it before in a previous episode, but they have the Roots actually do the safety precaution bit on the Late Night with Jimmy Fallon ride over at Universal Orlando. So Questlove's on the beat, and Black Thought is literally rapping the safety instructions.
That's crazy.
So it's cool that they also get a daily mention on a ride in Orlando.
That's crazy.
The Roots get like pretty much free advertisement every time someone rides that ride. So
Crazy.
They're handling it all types of ways there.
Are there any other like hip hop acts like the Roots that like have live instrumentation band like that?
Not to this level.
Usually they have to borrow one.
I'm sure, maybe on a smaller scale, there could be some, an underground band we don't know of, but to the level of the Roots, no.
Maybe the last time that's happened is when Questlove joined John Mayer in that Chappelle Show skit.
Possibly.
When white people hear the guitar riff.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Or when Hispanic people listen to the drums and
this is different instruments.
Random gibberish out of a megaphone.
But yeah, as far as an actual hip hop band to this, nah.
Yeah, few far in between.
Can't think of one.
None to this level. I mean, the Roots discography is I would say it's flawless. Like, I don't know another act that has this many albums and none of them are lower than like A-. Like seriously, the Roots, they don't have a bad album. Like they've put together multiple classics, and the albums that maybe people won't consider classics are still outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, albums like The Tipping Point,
that's a really good one too.
the other one, Things Fall Apart. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Roots album. Illadelph Halflife, I put that number 2. Game Theory is amazing. Yep. Like they have phonology. I mean, their discography, like I said, is virtually perfect. Rising Down. Oh my gosh,
it's a cool blend of live instrumentation, also with like it's mixed with also just the actual like beat makers and all this kind of stuff mixed with it.
Yep.
So it's kind of even hard to tell like
what's what.
Yeah, what's what. But there is live instrumentation going on, which is dope.
Yeah.
So you have actual things that were created by them, their own rhythms and everything like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. When an MC looks at what the Roots do, I believe that they look at it and they look at the hurdle of trying to get people who plays the drums. Well, I mean, do we want to get a white drummer? I gotta get a black drummer for this. I know that off the jump. It's like it's about collecting all these people. The color's indifferent or whatever, but it's like it's about who's hip hop minded as a drummer.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like it's about getting all these people, and this is kind of like a lightning in a bottle group. I don't know if anyone's like understands the vision I'm seeing, but it's hard to get this kind of collective to be down to do hip hop. And to be down to do tracks like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hurdles that they've all overcome to like execute this damn near flawless group.
Right.
Because now we have, 30 plus years of them in the limelight executing still perfectly well because they've already jumped those hurdles of issues. Mm-hmm. I don't think looking back at like some entry level MC, they're like, nah, I don't want to do all that. I can make beats here.
Yeah.
And then just do it like that.
That's a lot of work.
It sounds like the easy route, but it's like, do you want to do it like the Roots do it?
A lot of things have to fall in place. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a lot of things fell into place for them to be able to be what they became.
Yeah. It's
you know what I mean?
The proverbial lottery ticket hip hop group.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, I guess, from just like when I saw the Roots, I didn't think it was crazy because it was like, it feels like it's a no-brainer. Like, oh yeah, there's a band, of course. But like, it's amazing how really like unique that really is.
Yes.
Like, that's what's kind of actually crazy.
And the only people to beat him at a talent show is Boys to Men.
Right.
Go figure.
No big deal.
Yeah.
If you're gonna lose,
If you guys know of any
If you're gonna lose, you better lose to Motown
Right.
Philly.
you know what I mean?
if you guys know of any like live instrumentation, hip hop groups or bands, please let us know in the comments if we're missing one. Or
We got to do that. That's how the intro has to be. We got to be the Roots of hip hop podcast where we do live instrumentation. Like I'll have the triangle,
That's crazy.
and then you just have the two cymbals, and then Ali can
Of
just
course,
be on
I'm
the
drumming.
drums.
Of course,
Yeah.
no big deal.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, man. Style wise, like just as a collective here, because there's just too many people to really kind of break it down everybody. Maybe
Breaking
Black
down
Thought.
each instrument.
Maybe Black Thought, but style wise, hearing the Roots, what do you guys pick up on?
I have Black Thought. Black Thought, the way he speaks, like his pronunciations and the way he actually makes the word sound a little bit different to accommodate the
that's
end bar.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
That puts him in an area where words aren't supposed to be fitting in,
Right.
and that only helps out when you're actually listening to the beat and like trying to make it all work. It's everything's perfectly suited for that execution of lyricism.
right.
Exactly.
And we're hard pressed to find an MC as good as Black Thought at that level.
It's funny you mentioned how he can kind of change pronunciations to end rhymes, because one just example that I remember from that freestyle, the Hot 97 one, I forget the order of it, but I think he said something like, K. Lamar meets Tupac Shakur. Like on surface level, Lamar and Shakur don't rhyme.
Yeah.
But the way he said it, it made it rhyme. It was so powerful how he did it, and in the context of his rhyme scheme. And that's another thing I want to mention as far as his style. To me, there's two MCs that do this one thing better than any other rapper, dead, alive, old, new, I don't care, is hold a rhyme scheme for an elongated amount of bars. And that's Eminem and Black Thought.
Yeah.
I mean, they can hold one rhyme scheme
you weren't
for
kidding about that.
30 bars.
I think Black Thought's still holding to the same rhyme scheme he started with.
Like, seriously, no. Like, to me, those are the two best. Like, as far as that category,
Still going with it.
Eminem and Black Thought are the best at holding a rhyme scheme. Like, Eminem can rhyme one sound for 50 bars. Black Thought does that just as well.
There's a famous cut behind the scenes with Mos Def and Black Thought. Behind the scenes of, I think, one of BET's Cyphers, I believe.
Okay.
Where Mos Def is like repeating his lyrics to him. And it's one of those tracks where he constantly like
same
matches the
sound.
scheme. And Mos Def is like, dude, I know every part of it. I could recite that like with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
Like that was so crazy.
Fanboying a Black Thought. That's wild.
Fanboying Black Thought.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that to me, as he's as well-rounded as an MC as he is, he does so many things well. Yeah. But to me, that specific thing, I think only Eminem is even in the same category as far as holding a rhyme scheme. Yeah. Like, that is so hard to do. And like I said, he can do it for 40 bars.
You're put in a box when you try to carry it that far.
Yes.
At that point, because you don't want to repeat usually the same, like you're putting
the same word.
You're handcuffing yourself to this.
And yet he does it so well. Yeah. He does it so, like I said,
almost like if he wasn't cuffed, huh? Like
like in the sense, I mean, not as a discredit, but it was like as great, as incredible as all of the Roots albums are, you know what I mean, and the work he does. Like, I almost feel like, especially what I've seen in these recent years, I feel like on the Roots, he kind of was like fitting in to what the group was doing while still going crazy on the songs.
Yeah.
But I feel like outside of the Roots is where he really tries to go crazy. Like, whereas on the Roots, it's about making good songs while he's still blacking out, going crazy. He's still barring it up. I'm nowhere saying he's not barring it up on the Roots songs at all. But I definitely believe his work outside of the Roots is where he's really trying to go at people's necks.
Black Thought Unleashed.
He's really going crazy on these other songs.
You don't want him on a feature.
Whereas like you look at a song like a song like Rising, I think it's Rising Up.
Yeah.
Like a song like that, or even like You Got Me. He's spitting on You Got Me. He's telling a story, a particular story, and the rhymes are, palatable for, your average listener.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's, again, still going crazy lyrically, but not too crazy where the average listener doesn't lose it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I feel like on Illadelph Halflife, he's still at that point where he's going crazy. Like, I feel like by the time you get to Things Fall Apart and Beyond, again, still very crazy lyrically, but I feel like they're more concentrated on the song structure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
that's good because you want that. You want ultimately what's best for the team.
Yes.
You don't want to like Kobe out on the team.
Every single song.
Everybody's just like, okay, Kobe, like you got this.
Every like Black Thought, he can't go absolutely berserk every song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He has to pass it to Shaq once in a while.
Yes, and I feel like that's what he does so well. I feel like Things Fall Apart and Beyond, I feel like he did that a lot better. He does it well on this album too, but I feel like Illadelph Halflife, I feel like he's still like kind of proving himself where he's like, look, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the beauty of Illadelph Halflife is like he's still doing it. But if you look at like one of the songs we're gonna do, like What They Do, that's when we're lyrically nuts.
Yeah.
But it's toned down just enough where it's still a good single. You know what I mean?
I'll say Powerhouse, sharp,
Yes.
thought-provoking. There's lyrics like where he's calling out pretty like basically gangster rap.
Yeah.
Saying that it's lost its way. Like stuff like that is like crazy when you start critiquing like your own like genre. Like,
I mean, what they do kind of got them potentially in some trouble.
Yeah.
Like, they said that Biggie thought that he was dissing them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some of the images in the video kind of looked like they were parodying stuff he was doing.
P. Diddy and
at that moment, you couldn't do wrong with anything gangster rap. You couldn't do wrong.
Yeah,
because it was hot.
It was what was winning.
To be anti that is literally going against the grain. But
that's one of the bars.
It's going against the grain. But you have someone that has to put a message across that, hey, look, this does more harm than good for the younger generation.
If we're not careful, yep.
Right.
And
look at that. Look at what to his point.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
It's crazy. Precise and commanding, dude. This dude can. It's crazy. Like I feel like maybe he might get overlooked because you're looking for something about his appearance or something to stand out, maybe, and you don't see it from the naked eye. But like when you hear this dude, you start realizing, oh, dude, there's something special here. Like,
And go ahead, Marco.
Oh yeah, and I think that's a good thing too, because we have a lot of MCs that prey on their image first.
Yeah.
Male MCs more importantly, but like we have them that prey on the like.
It's all about
they
the image.
want the image to be put forth first before the lyricism.
Even if they can't rap, they just make like we did Crisscross, like their image more than what
that was literally what put them over.
And it's the crazy that almost the common denominator with people trying to be laid back, they always got the illest flows.
Yeah.
Like Mos Def wants to lay back, chill.
Yep.
Guru, lay back, chill. Lyricism's off the chart. Black Thought, everyone just wants to have that be the one on the forefront. Like they want it to be that, and it's just I find it rather reassuring that they kind of like that. That's been the common denominator about hip hop, especially with lyricism.
Oh yeah, I mean to the point where you mentioned commanding his voice and how he approaches the mic, all the tools he has, and no one's ever dissed him. There's a reason for that. There's a reason. Black Thought would destroy you. The closest thing to anyone ever dissing Black Thought wasn't even necessarily Black Thought by name, because it wasn't by name, but was in the middle of Nas and Jay-Z's beef. Nas dissed the Roots for playing on Jay-Z's The
Oh, I
Unplugged.
didn't know that.
So on the Jay-Z's album, he did an Unplugged with MTV, and a part of that performance, he does Takeover. So the Roots, they're the band during Unplugged. So Nas sees this and gets upset. So there's a line in Got Yourself a Gun where he says, he said a bunch of Sambos. Like he called them Sambos, which I mean, do your homework. You call somebody black a Sambo, that's you ready to fight them. And Black Thought mentioned that in the interview. He's like, it wasn't even about rap. I wanted to fight him. He said, I wanted to punch him in the mouth. Like he literally said that. He was upset. He said, "You calling me a Sambo for?" He said, "I wanted to punch Nas in the mouth." And cooler heads prevailed over time. But that could have got real.
But what if that beef actually started? Dude, Nas versus Black Thought?
Stupid.
Ding, ding, ding. Let's go into a
How
hypothetical.
infinite can they go?
That would have been insane.
Round
on the mic.
12.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun.
That would have been insane.
Let's go quickly in that reality,
Yeah,
really quick.
yeah.
Like, what would end up happening? Black Thought puts out first, or
Dude, it's Superman versus Doomsday, bro. They're gonna go at
Black
it.
Thought responds, right? He responds. He throws a jab.
Let's say
throws a
hypothetically,
jab.
he throws a jab. I mean, it would have been.
Nas has the momentum of dissing Jay-Z, so
Yes.
he's already on fire.
He would have been up.
lyrically.
He would have been up at the time as far as the beginning of it, but I really feel like that could have been something that put Black Thought even more on the map. Because I don't think there's a winner.
that would've done
Because
more
I don't
for
think there's a winner in that. I think it's gonna go opinion based. It's gonna be who you thought won. It's gonna be like a Jadakiss Beanie Siegel type of situation.
Okay.
Where
'Cause Nas
it's
is
so
nice, so
where it's so close, where it's like some say Jadakiss won, some say Beans won. Like most rap beefs is a clear winner. But like I think that would have been one of those
Black
where
Thought would have a lot of material to just Nas
he
on.
would have went. I'm telling that would have been. It would have been
I don't know
fun.
how much material Nas has on.
And
Black
that
Thought.
would have been hard. Yeah. That would have been harder for him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it would have been an interesting situation to see.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And then
like I said,
Questlove out of the corner. I got a beat for you.
but seriously, that's the closest thing anyone ever got to dissing.
That's crazy.
Black Thought, because on the mic, you better be somebody, because
That's crazy.
Good luck.
So we move into the album cover. The album cover, for those who are listening, it features the Roots on a street curb corner. And then you have Black Thought kneeling down. He has some Timbs on.
Front and center.
They're on the street, front and center. They're kind of on this corner block. The Roots is written on the top left with the like an army green edging with the black writing internally, and then you have the opposite of that with the white writing. Illadelph Halflife. Illadelph, short for Philadelphia. Illadelph. I thought that was really dope when they came up with that. Jedi Mind Tricks also goes with that as well. Half-Life, and then it's kind of like in this monochrome.
Yeah, corner of some block.
Yeah, like it's in a monochrome filter that has no color, and then they're on the corner of the block.
The silhouette kind of looks like a tree going all the way up.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of. This is very Philly. This is a very Philly type of photo. This is kind of, dude. It's. Might I say that they're trying to match the color of soil?
Okay.
You know, that green often pops up with trees. That type of green that
It's
they
like
have
a brownish hue with the green. Yeah, maybe like that.
Yeah, I mean, because you'll get that type of brown in soil, rich soil, and then like tree bark is dark brown like that.
Yeah.
So it does hold the element of plants.
Definitely like 90s style here for sure.
Yeah.
You know, Tim's with the baggy jeans.
Hibbity and bibbity for sure.
And then you got the, you got the backwards hats. Yeah, so it's very 90s.
Even now,
Is that a car on the side of it? The right. If we're looking at it front and face, it's on the right side.
Yeah, it is a car.
and I can't make out fully what it says in the bottom left corner, but I see OK Player. I don't know what it says underneath there.
Giving you true notes.
Okay.
1987.
And then, OK Player ended up being, one of the first big hip hop forums online.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was ran. I think it was ran by Questlove, I believe.
Yeah, I think they had a website.
Yeah.
And they had their own
Because
forum.
that's where I think that's where he
discovered.
he started hearing about Little Brother.
That's
He
right.
started hearing about them
that's
a
right.
lot on there, and then randomly he gets their
That's
CD.
right.
But yeah,
Good
okay.
Easter egg there.
Yes, but yeah, OK Player was literally like the first big
That's right.
forum for underground hip hop. Like everybody
yeah. That's
sharing
dope. Yeah, it's a
sharing
dope
artists,
little
talking
Easter
about,
egg.
artists that you should listen to and getting their music out and things like that.
How do we tie this now to the album? Like the album cover with Illadelph Halflife. What does Illadelph Halflife even mean? Like comparing to like the album.
Well, they're definitely repping where they're from with Illadelph. So,
They're
that's
from?
repping Philly. I've heard Eve say Illadelph and heard some of her raps. So that's just a nod to where they're from. Half-Life is where it's interesting.
I heard him in an interview say like that they didn't know whether they were going to live past 25 for a time.
Okay, I can see
you
that.
Could play to that.
I can see that because that was the kind of the stigma at that time.
Yeah.
Where they would say, if you were black at that time from the hood, you'd be lucky to see 25.
Right.
And for them, it's more like, okay, well we've we've made it to 25. Now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe we're halfway to. I don't. You know what I mean? Who knows? But
Yeah.
but by this time, they're pretty much, if not 25, almost 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that could be a nod to that. But yeah, I do think that's interesting. They have all their album titles.
I don't think
extremely interesting.
I think it might be tied to that because I don't think it ties to the game Half-Life. There's the game.
No, I think Half-Life came after this.
Yeah, it was like 2000s, huh? Yeah.
The game
For everybody who knows, during like
the game is based on the Roots first album.
during the 2000 early 2000s
Half-Life 1 and 2,
Counter-Strike,
man.
Half-Life, there was like Duke Nukem, there was like certain computer games online.
Counter-Strike,
because
baby.
you didn't have PlayStation 5 and all that stuff like where you could just play online that easy.
Doom.
You had to have a computer desktop to really go there.
Doom.
Even Call of Duty, I think, or
Even
The early
Soldier
ones.
of Fortune.
Soldier of Fortune.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
There's some good ones out there, but Counter-Strike was
Rainbow
Half-Life.
Six.
Rainbow Six.
Six is another dope one, too.
Dang.
Half-Life, yeah. So I know.
Not based on the game.
Based off of the game. No, that was like a whole like kind of like a Sims thing. Like you live like
Oh,
a
yeah.
fictitious life like online or something. Like you would like just basically play the game to work a job through the game.
The Sims?
No, the Half-Life.
Oh, it wasn't a shooter?
I don't think so.
I never played it.
Correct us if I'm wrong in the comments on that. So we go on to 3 tracks that we choose out of the album, and these are 3 tracks that we usually try to come together and vote on. It was tough.
It got tough at the end.
It got tough at the end because they have 20. Is this 20 tracks? I think 20 or so tracks on this. A lot of tracks.
Yeah, 20.
So to choose out of, and there's a lot of good ones here, but we just had a hard time like really kind of deciding on which.
So nailing it down to 3 is
Yeah.
you're gonna leave some on the cutting room floor.
Right.
Yeah.
We all have to have our valid points and opinions
Right.
on why to keep one over the other.
Right. So there's some sacrifice that goes on, choosing 3. But nonetheless, we chose 3. We nailed it down. So the 3 that we got are going to be the first track on this album, which is going to be Respond and React. What they do and how you pronounce that last part?
Alibi.
No, Alibi. Okay. So we got 3 tracks, and what we do is we read the lyrics. We check to see what do we pick out of this? Like, what do we see that they're talking about? What's the meaning? And then what's the scheme? What's the wordplay? What's whatever what the bars are? We dissect it and break it down. Excuse me. So we go into the first track, which is going to be Respond and React. Honorable mentions out of this album.
Concerto of the Desperado.
Okay, that one.
You and I verse at war, man.
Oh yeah, that's another one too.
That was my song, man.
I just like the little the drum Questlove versus like the beatboxers.
Oh yeah, those are dope.
Those are
I like
dope.
those little kind of skit interludes.
There was one where it was like him and Rozelle versus a saxophonist named Dave.
Yep.
That was pretty dope. There's the Q-Tip track too. That's another honorable mention. Q-Tip and Black Thought. That was kind of crazy. So we go into Respond and React as the first track, and then that started off with Black Thought.
We setting it from south side, pushing this up north from Illadelph reps to fly points across the map, bring it back to respond, react, then bring it back to respond to this. Then bring it back, respond, react to this. The attractive assassin blasting the devil's trespass.
Wow.
Already.
Wow.
Who's even thinking of an attractive assassin?
Wow. Out the gate.
Already the thought is different. Already.
Stupid.
Little alliteration, a little keeping the rhyme scheme going. The attractive assassin blasting the devil's trespassing.
All in one bar.
Yeah.
Four
Right.
in
One bar.
Multi-syllables in one bar.
Stupid.
Master getting cash in an orderly fashion. Message to the flashing. Slow up, Ock, before you get dropped and closed like a caption.
Ock, that's a Philly word. Typically about it's like
Ock?
Yeah.
Ock. That's like Philly slang for like, you know, it's like just saying like brother or like dude or guy, fool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every city got their own kind of way to say that.
Yeah, and then New York, it's
Son.
well, no, even
B.
too like even for the bodegas, usually. The Pakistan.
Pakistani,
like
or
Akis.
Middle East Aki,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Fractional kids don't know the time for action. Styles got the rhythm that of an Anglo-Saxon.
Oh, wow.
That's very cordial, Black Thought.
Mind you, like Ali was saying earlier, he's still on the ashen,
scheme.
jazz passing, flashing, caption, action, Anglo-Saxon.
Round of applause, an avalanche of clapping. Blow, that's what happened. Now what's your reaction? We heavyweight traction, pro-pornographic. Specialize in science and math, and original black man, busting thoughts that pierce your mental. The fierce ripping your sax and vocal toe-to-toe, impeccable, splitting your back, son. Simple as addition and subtraction. Black Thought, the infinite relaxed one.
See, I like how even he combines two simple words, black sun, simple as addition and subtraction.
Yep.
Like
Relaxed one.
He's making it rhyme. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Shorties say they love it with the passion. Bring the interview traw. See a squad I harass.
Wow. Insane, bro. That was insane.
Malik B, react. You best adapt when I sing this rap. Another chapter before when I have trap you, map your whole path out. Go get your crowd so we can clap out. I drive down streets and take back route positioning. When I'm in your system like glycerin, fans listening and from Michigan to Switzerland. From Michigan to Switzerland.
Wow.
Malik B. Bliss again. Go on the station with the discipline, soliciting, sometimes illicit or explicit with it. And from the deep end where the hills are steep, nobody cares to speak. A land where life is cheap. The street mentality mixed with the intellect personality.
Wow.
Hell where I dwell as well.
Wow.
Hell where I dwell as well. Rebellious bodies are found down in the cellars. My man caught a shot to the stomach. Now who on it? Confronted by these dusted blunted cats who act like they don't know that the fact is that they being haunted. A process of elimination. Activate your mind with the stimulation. Enter the zone with penetration. I see more horror than Bram Stoker. Strip your broad or play poker, then drink mocha.
Bram Stoker, the author of the Dracula novel.
I've seen more horror than Bram Stoker. Strip your broad or play poker, then drink mocha. Like even the humor that they add in this is dope. Then sometimes socializer, the joke despiser. You woke the wiser, dealing with the roots vocalizer up in your flesh from South Philly to West. I stampede your style, compile and bless.
Damn. Unbelievable.
Well, you can tell Malik is a great Mike B.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Mike 2, and he's like, he's complimenting Black Thought here. Like,
He just saw what Black Thought was spitting. He's like, oh, yeah?
All right, let's go.
He's trying to, he's upping his pen.
Okay.
It's that healthy lyrical competition.
Yeah.
Like you want to stay in stride with a guy like Black Thought.
Yeah.
Hey yo, I'm just a lyricist, a chemist of the hemp, the beat pimp, the ill Philly resident that's far from hesitant, corrupt like a president, never benevolent, but poetically prevalent, cooler than peppermint. Stop!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The lieutenant for talking about represent. No doubt, it's obviously evident. I get bent. Far from temporary, son. I'm very permanent. Hitting them seas like an intoxicant. Sent to prevent monopoly is my intent. The means is what I invent. This mental murder pay the rent. Lyrically, I'm the dominant ingredient, the swift, extravagant, smooth lubricant, down to the M, the illitant.
ANT.
Wow, that's crazy. The sound of the dynasty chant. We surround your camp, assuming the war stance, and bring from the chest. Now let's dance.
Some of the bars he said in here are just so like domineering, like it's unstoppable.
Never benevolent, but poetically prevalent. Cooler than peppermint. That is stupid.
At that point, you realize, okay, this is different.
This is not your average MC by any means.
No, once he got into that peppermint,
Like, okay,
it.
you just playing with us now.
Yeah, exactly.
Good grief.
Verse 4.
Mil Illitant. What? Feel the fifth gorilla chant. Y'all talk about bodies, but you would not kill an ant.
Ouch.
My skills amp would peel like a stamp. Caliber is of Excalibur. Now you be damp. So he's going to get you with that sword so quick that you're going to be just damp from all your own blood. When I operate, the crowd will copulate. My game will make a room populate. 2 1/5 of the stock of hate. Peep the logistics. Slump your squad of misfits, and they get.
Oh, sorry, 215. That's a 215 Philly area code.
Yeah. And 2 1/5 is the stock of hate. Peep the logistics. Slump your squad of misfits. They all get the wrist slit. Blast your ass if you insist it. Leave no trace, so there's no trace for ballistics. Turn your soul and your body to statistics.
Wow.
In particular, I've got the extracurricular. Squad in the stash who be sticking you.
I love that humor he's
In
adding.
particular, I got the extracurricular. Wow.
Squad in the stash who be sticking you, slipping, they vicking you, harass your police commissioner. Don't like chicks weaves talking about I need conditioner.
Damn.
That shit's deader than with the morticianer. A Jezina, all up in your flesh like plasma. Take away your last breath when you got asthma.
Wow.
Stop. Okay.
You won.
Take your last breath when you got asthma?
You won, man.
It's already difficult enough when you got asthma, trying to catch your breath.
Take my
And
last
you
breath?
Take his last breath?
He's already like struggling to get air.
Dude. It's like chopping off his hand and be like, oh, let me give you a hand.
Yeah, exactly. And it's his own.
Yeah.
Then meet Bad Lou down at the plaza. Hip hop extravaganza. Tell your man I slump him with the stanza. Lyrically,
this
I'll
line.
kill him.
I like this
now,
next
who's the
one.
boss? Not Tony Danza.
Ouch.
My force not green, but the force is obscene. P.O. took a piss test. It came out not clean. Brody with my man, Ms. Mazus and Akeem. My squad from Deuce 4 up the West Oak Lane. All the way to Talcahuano and Frankfurt. They know the name. It's like that. Mil Illitant.
Now, I think in time, Malik probably could have got to a point where Black Thought is, but this just wasn't it yet. He was a great number 2, but in time, maybe he could have gotten there.
I mean, the dude, like I said, the goal on being in a song with a guy like Black Thought is to not get left behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
You know, he's definitely doing his part to keep up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's your number one goal. If you're keeping up, you're winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like there's
Because you already know who's going to be the star. It's going to be Black
it's
Thought.
him.
Yeah,
You
so
already know
just-
it. You know
you're
what I
there
mean?
to compliment.
And that's the beauty of groups. It's like you can't. Again, I remember a little brother interview. Like you can't have 2 sledgehammers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's overload after a while. Like even though obviously Malik B is going crazy as well, but it's like you almost can't 2 Black Thoughts in one group is just
case in point would be like Eminem and Busta Rhymes. When
if they were in a
both, like,
group, that's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much.
It's
They
way
could do a song or 2 together, but to be a
it's a
group,
lot.
that would be too much.
Cannabis, Eminem, Busta
Nah.
Rhymes,
DMX.
DMX, like
It's just too much. It's too much. Like Eminem and Cannabis in a
track,
group is ridiculous.
Like I can just imagine the equipment like just ready to burst.
Can't take it. No, I can't take it.
We move on to the second track, but before we get there, just taking us down the journey section was a great one, talking about the lyrical prowess again, being in your area no matter where you're at. Panic takes a turn into more of a realism of what's going on in the street, specific storytelling there. about a situation where there was a murder. And then it just don't stop again, going onto that theme again of like the streets, that it just doesn't stop, like constantly there's murders happening, there's different things out there that's happening in their area. Episodes, Push Up Your Lighter kind of goes into a more lighter tone, a more positive tone to it all. And then we land on What They Do. What They Do is track 8 of
I would say this was like their first like kind of big song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is, for a lot of people, their introduction to the Roots. Like I said, this video was pretty controversial.
Yep.
They were kind of parodying a lot of things in hip hop. They had like one thing like, but it was funny. Like they had a version with subtitles and then one without. This, obviously, the subtitle version was way funnier. And like there was a scene where like they're just sitting in the car driving, and the bottom is like, "Where are we going?" And then there's a part where they're like, everybody's throwing their fists and stepping on camera. The beatdown scene.
That's tight. That's tight. I like that.
Or like there's one like everybody just takes off running, like running to nowhere or something like
That's
that.
dope.
Like it's
that.
just it's such a dope video. And
Called out like 70% of hip hop music videos.
And then there's a part where like they're all like toasting champagne and they're doing it like straight face. They're like going like this.
That's tight.
Like just parodying it. Like it's such a great
all
video.
these thought-provoking lyrics, and you have chicks in bikinis all dancing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
it's
had one
kind of like whatever about
they
it.
had one that was like token white girl. Like just, you know what I mean? Like they just had all these different, it was such a dope video.
Yeah. Piece of that video, you guys gotta look at that one.
Yes.
After you check out this episode.
And this song has my favorite male vocalist ever, Raphael Sadiq.
Yeah.
Just had to throw that out there.
Who wants verse 1? You guys want that one?
I'll start. Yo, lost generation, fast-paced nation, world population confront their frustration. The principles of true hip-hop have been forsaken. It's all contractual and about money-making. Pretend to be cast, don't seem to know the limitation. Exact replication and false representation. You want to be a man and stand your own. To MC requires skills. I demand some shown. I love that part. I love that line. To MC requires skills. I demand some shown. You better be nice up in here. Love that bar.
Yeah, that's dope.
Pretend to be cats don't seem to know the limitations. So there was a lot of rappers at this time who were believing in their own myth.
Yeah,
and
he's calling them all out to the forefront.
Get called out on that.
Yes. I let the frauds keep fronting and roam like a cellular phone, far from home, giving crowds what they wantin'. Official hip-hop consumption, the fifth thumping, keeping your party jumping with an original something. Yo, I dedicate this to the one dimension now, no imagination, excuse for perpetration. My man came over and said, yo, we thought we heard you. Joke's on you, you heard a biting-ass crew. But I love that part. Love that part.
What they do.
Never do.
What they do.
What they do.
What they do
What do they do?
What they do is make
Mountain Dew. Yeah, that would have been the dude. If the Roots sold out, Mountain Dew, like the commercial does.
No.
That's an easy commercial.
Do the do.
Verse 2.
Verse 2. Do the do. Yo.
This is the line that run between love and hatred. The game is ill-natured. It's nothing sacred. Hey, yo, it's funny what I see some rap do it to make it. A few blow up or go as far as they can take it. My 9 to 5 is just to hit ya. Get the party live. I'm Black Thought. Used to rap for sport. Now I'm rhyming saying rent paying live support. I take it very seriously within the industry. It's various crews that tried to touch me, but I come with the beautiful things and I bless the track plushly. Plushly. Who's
that's a
saying
word.
that?
Dude, the only time I remember the Liquid Swords. Remember mentioning saying plush. Every square yard was plush. Jesus says that. Dude, no, there's a few far in
Very
between.
Right,
for
it's
the
not a
word
common
plush.
word you hear in rhymes.
Plushly.
Around the world, crowds love me for doing tours. Recipient of applause from all of you to yours. A creator and original sounds that it's in the stores. And you take home to absorb the sweat out your pores. Now, who can stop the music running through these veins? Infinite goes against the grain. That's why my motto's too.
There it is, that bar going against the grain.
What they do.
What they do. What they do.
Living the life of limos and lights, airplanes and trains, short days and long nights, keyboards and mic, bass chords and drum kicks in my mental thick. They hit my head like brick as I embark on a mission. Welcome them to the dark when I first spark the arts, when the listening starts. So maybe even the spark of the Big Bang, he's probably talking about when I spark the arts, when the listening starts.
Yeah, or just how you consume music. Like if you turn off everything and you're just in the dark listening.
Open your head wide and let the thoughts inside. Nice. Playing on his own name. My style fortified by all of Philadelphia. See, that's what he does so well.
Yes.
And it's like you expand the vocabulary to have just so many. He unstresses the stress rhymes. He stresses the unstressed rhymes.
He's a lyrical Mr. Fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. My Delph, more stealth than all the wicked wealth mentality unbreakable by the naked eye. Then I get paid when the record is played. To put it short, I want it made like Ed. Enough said. Then after that, I'm putting on my cousin Ahmed. We let the ladies blend with the dark-skinned thoroughbred and discover my level is that of no other. And Roots crew reign official and true while I'm continuing to never do what they do, what they do.
It's the part where they just be like,
oh, yeah. Here we go.
straight face. This is hilarious in the video. Hilarious.
Yeah, that's I mean, even Julius doing 3 verses too.
Yeah.
That's also like something that's different nowadays. Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
don't see that too
Rest in
often.
peace, the third verses.
We gotta bring those back.
Rest in peace to 3-minute songs.
Yes. Now it's about like a minute and a half or 2.
I mean, yeah.
Something we just need a clip.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like that now. So jumping down, we go into some skits. Like I was saying, there were some skits with like Rozelle and Questlove battling.
And a
was cool.
little piece to Rozelle too, because he ended up showing out.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
did, dude.
I remember he had his own. He was the DJ of SSX Tricky for
Yes.
PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
I mean,
Rozelle.
like, how do you make it out of just like making beats with your like brum, brum, brum? How do you make it big? Like doing
I
that?
mean, it's the 2 greatest are really
crazy.
him and Dougie Fresh.
Yeah, and the guy from Police Academy.
Wait, where's Rozelle now though? Is he doing any like is he featured?
Haven't really
You guys seen him?
seen anything really. The last thing I remember him being, he was on a some commercial way back in like 99 or 2000.
That was the last time.
It's the last thing I remember seeing him.
And
on.
then SSX Tricky's the
The
the last
video
thing I
game.
remember on that end.
I'm curious. Maybe
Rozelle.
somebody could point him out. Where is that? What is he doing? Because he's probably doing some other stuff. I don't know.
I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go on to another one of the honorable mentions, the Concerto of Desperado.
Man.
That beat's very iconic. Just the way it's formulated with the strings, very like orchestra, classic
that
boom
beat's
bap.
wild, man.
Dun, dun, dun,
We wanted
dun, dun,
to
dun,
review it, but
dun,
we
dun, 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 dun.
had this was in the mix with
It was hard.
Well, it was
Respond, React.
split. Yeah, we had a
It was-
split.
and I just respond react. Our argument was that both Concerto of the Desperados and Respond and React are kind of the same song, and we had to like the argument was for just trying to at least put Respond React on.
Yeah.
But man, like it was tough. This
Yeah.
is the one that had to leave the cutting room floor.
I
had to
think
be on that.
when we go on, maybe we could cherry pick some certain tracks that we may have missed back, and maybe that might be one of those ones.
Look out.
Yeah, because that'll be kind of fun. Because I'm sure there's other tracks we wanted to cover too.
And we
previous
didn't. Yep,
albums, yeah.
absolutely.
Clones was another dope one. That was like more kind of like raw, just them on the street, like just rap. Universe at War was another
Man,
honorable
that's
mention.
my song, man. I love that song.
That
That's the one with Common. Yes,
Yeah.
man.
Common and Black Thought. Yeah, check that one out. That one, if you just look on paper, what they're talking about, crazy.
It's my what they do is my favorite song on this album. That's my second favorite. Universe at War. I love that song.
And we land on No Alibi. No Alibi is another classic, iconic tracks from the beat. I remember hearing this beat a long time ago too, being one of those instrumentals you download as an artist because you're looking to make a mixtape in the early 2000s. So you're just downloading instrumentals. So I know a lot of the instrumentals before I even know the artist. That's how I learned.
A lot of classic hip hop.
Yeah, like, I didn't even know who The Roots was.
The Roots produced a lot of my mixtapes, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm just like here, just, huh? Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but now I'm putting respect on it. So
Most def.
Malik B with the hooks. So that's dope. He came out with the hook. If you've seen it or heard it, maybe, probably I did it. Maybe, maybe not. I admit that what I committed, exhibit the truth because I'm living proof why I had no disguise trying to vocalize.
I mean, they dropping bars in the hooks.
Yes, they are, dude.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Dig it. Look through the window. Tell me what you see. The Illadelph school. That's a dope right there. Name Illadelph with Illadelphia. That goes so perfect. School of philosophy, where get dealt with mental velocity. Connect my sentences and thoughts like apostrophes.
Wow.
Woo. You represent hypocrisy, and it ain't no stopping me until I fulfill my term of my prophecy. My attitude is scared by the inner city urban. Illadolo stress on my brain just like the turban. Ooh. Who get grazed by the bullet triggers, who quick to pull it. The anti-bullshitter, Islamic extortioner. You're the forfeiture, unfortunately, who want to Jip me. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, thanks. I cause humidity, so come and get me. I'm simply the cat to lay back. I chill and watch you. The silent ninja tends to injure. Now I got you. Sanity was lost, so now I'm found insane. I'm thinking streets to jeeps, hours, days to weeks. Ooh, this is dope. I even speak to geeks. I hold my fortune. It's sweet. I'm discreet in the streets, but that's just the way I play, though. I lay low, but over your head just like a halo. Hell's Angel. These thoughts you cannot untangle. When I drop jewels, they wear it like a bangle. Check it out one time. Your mind was like that.
Damn.
Yeah, he was going
If you
seen
seen it or heard it, maybe I probably did it, maybe or maybe not. I admit what I committed, exhibit the truth because I'm living proof why. I have no disguise, no verdicts, no alibis. It's like the mob guy, maybe or maybe not. I don't know what I did. Black Thought. Verse 2 is a dig it. Look into the windows, tell me what you see. Lieutenant University of Philosophy, where you possibly not escaping what I'm meditating. My shackle of thought tackle you while I'm educating. My shackle of thought tackle you while I'm educating. So he's just like, you probably just whip the shackle that you're already on. Comes back down. You don't resonating from inhalation of darkness. Black Thought. As I spark from the smart shit which you were waiting, situating me at the top of the pile, while Delaware vow, Pennsylvania subterranean style.
Yeah, okay, once you start going into all this, like, lyrically, though, like, who is trying to write, like, this complex? Like, you know?
It's
like,
crazy.
Finding words in unfindable places.
Yeah,
I mean, and like, it just he's discovering new words, so he's like, he's on his Christopher Columbus tip because
like that's not the first thing I'm thinking. Wild Delaware Val, Pennsylvania subterranean style.
Crazy.
Step into my crevice, the taste of medicine, the champagne king like Evelyn.
Oh, stop it.
Leaving you leveled and sabotaged.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. That dude. Should we even continue? Like, just stop.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like, it's all camouflage like the devil and guns and coke peddling, Olympic medaling flashback, that of a war veteran blast at the programmer bringing lashes across your back, or some accuracy of brainwashed Bosnian troop that swooped down through your roof without sound. That's the best way to just describe a stealth troop that swooped down through your roof without sound. On a lyrical Nat Turner mission, reacting off intuition, continuously alert, no intermission. If your ears hurt, you shouldn't listen. That means you're artificial. My style will poison your brain tissue, getting maimed and crippled once the gamma rays hit you. My grain's habitual, and I should never go against the ritual I've been mastering ever since I was among the flavored youth. Remain sharper than a saber tooth. My deliverance is self-evident, vital lyrical science now.
That was insane, bro.
Saber tooth.
That was insane, bro.
96.
Stupid.
96 lyricism's wild, bro.
Yeah.
See, if you seen it or heard it,
You
maybe
have to go out of your
probably-
way to be so lyrical at that time, bro.
No, you did. You
we're
had
so
to-
we're so like information is so easily captured at this point in time. Now in
Right,
the present being
right.
2025, 1996 is it's very like if you weren't adept with the internet, if you didn't have all that, you're going off a Dewey Decimal System at the library.
Yeah, because
bro.
we're talking
Straight
about
up.
Reading.
we're still talking about dial-up at this point, right? 1995, right?
Yeah, it's
Dial-up.
a dial-up era.
Like that means that it's not easy to come
and
back.
nothing's getting figured out with like search engines.
No,
No.
there's no Google yet.
No.
So there's a lot to.
To be rapping like this already, like
You spend a lot of time in books.
You have to go out of your way to be rapping like this.
This is
It's
crazy.
like it's something that's within you to do,
Right.
Because it takes a lot of work at this point in '96 to do it.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's for sure, for damn sure.
Yo, who knows what you snorted or who support what you recorded? Who knows what
That's
you
how you
snorted?
start off a verse.
Yo, who knows what you snorted or who support what you recorded, but don't get it distorted in this orbit you're aborted. This authentic sorted shit's imported, exported. Styles that get sported. My paragraphs aortic. What is
What?
he doing?
My paragraphs aortic?
Behold
This
the
dude's a fucking doctor now?
This is crazy.
The aorta is the largest artery in the body, so thought could be saying his paragraph verses are so long that he could be saying the content of his paragraphs have a large scope.
Crazy. Behold the illest medley, lock you in a chokehold. Illadelph epilogue, top league plus in vogue. Slice tongues from your area code. Student of life that's on the rugged exterior mode. Blind the devil with the bold black and gold shine. I walk a thin line and hold mine, let the people respond. It's mine detect mine. Swine decline, let the power refine. Build like it's 1999. In this build in this day and time, the reptilian robe, the sextillion ton. Your Armageddon guan come from the sun. He is going crazy.
He's out of here.
Untouchable cuts that's unclutchable for
He's
some
outta
to
here.
overstand. So y'all sit back and wonder, damn, I'd like to take this time to tell you who I am. Original man. Black Thought, aka Lieutenant Malik B, the M Illitant. Know to vanish in the atmosphere. We up there like the Stratos, word life.
I like how he took on the lieutenant, like going with Malik B's
Militant.
militant.
Yeah, the M Militant.
It's sick. Lieutenant.
Crazy,
militant.
man.
It's dope.
That was nuts.
But this verse here, like he's going into the Armageddon, like he's going like to the beginnings and
Yo,
to
like
the
it's
end of the
1999.
world.
Yep.
Like, yeah, there's a lot in
Everybody
there.
had this thought, the world might end in
Black thought is
2000.
infinite.
Crazy
The Armageddon,
verses.
Guan come from the sun.
A little
the-
patois in there.
Yeah, it's good. The Armageddon's gonna come from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's right. I mean, to a certain extent.
And then, which sun are you talking about? That's great. Son of God, son, the sun. There's different suns in there.
Double, triple
Yeah,
entendres.
that's pretty crazy. So then from there. Oh yeah, that's it. That's
that was it,
That was it. But just continuing on, it then kind of goes into with the No Great Pretender, which is another great trap. The Hypnotic was a cool track.
Yeah,
that
I
was
like
like
that
a more
one.
laid back, loungy type of track, talking about like a girl interaction he had there. And then you had the feature with Q-Tip on the Universal side, Ida. And then One Shine was also they had a full on cohesive album here that
Yes.
married live instrumentation with like production, like all together. It was a well put out album, and you could tell the growth in the group. You see Black Thought come into his own. You really see him start to like become the GOAT that he is known to be today.
Yes.
But like this is like that turning point when you're like, oh, okay, no, Black Thought is here.
Yep.
So this is definitely that album where that happens. Thoughts and takeaways from this album, gentlemen. What do we take away from after going through the album like this with this group?
I still stand by the point in the beginning of the show where entry level MCs are going to be hard pressed to try to do the same blueprint, and we, not even in the sense of them, if they even try to start something like this, that they'd be biting, but you have to have a strong inner friend unit that's down like this, that all musicians, or a strong network of musicians that are down to be collective like this, because there's a lot of sacrifice within the Roots in the band at its whole, because maybe all of them want to do their own thing too, but they've all banded together and they're a unified front together.
Yeah. And there's some interchangeable parts, but but nonetheless, it's still a band nonetheless. Like even if someone switches out, they still continue forward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just it's cool seeing this type of family at some point start up and be creative and provide
and funny
us
too. Like they're funny too.
Provide us with lyricism and instrumentation and fuse that all together.
What are your thoughts?
Like I said, for me, of their incredible catalog and discography of albums, Illadelph Halflife is my second favorite Roots album, only behind Things Fall Apart. This album was, to me, the precursor to Things Fall Apart.
Yeah.
Perfectly set up. You have your Common feature, who Common is also featured on Things Fall Apart.
Yeah.
You got, Q-Tip on here. You got Raphael Sadiq. It's literally laying the groundwork for what will become.
Piece of guys like Common too. Common's always in the right place at the right time.
Oh yeah.
Dude. So is Busta Rhymes too.
Yeah,
these
are
are
two
guys
examples.
that are just always in the right spot.
They're both in those categories of favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I mean? Like they just had that ultimate respect out the gate. And Black Thought,
Q-Tip too.
Q-Tip, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, Black Thought, to me, this was where you start to really see his ascent to where, again, a lot of people, unless you really, really were up on the Roots, they really didn't understand how dope this dude really was. Like I said, it wasn't until that Hot 97 freestyle where a lot of people opened their minds and were like, oh, shoot, he really was dope all this time.
Because even when they came on to Jimmy Fallon, I still didn't understand the greatness of Tariq yet. I didn't understand it yet.
Like I said, I felt like within the Roots, like I said, he was being a team player, killing these songs, but not going so over because he was a part of a group. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things, and he never wanted to be a solo artist like that. He was always just down for the team. And I feel like, like I said, that freestyle was what put him over the edge and put him front and center in people's minds that, oh no. I mean, honestly, just a quick little story. Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian, he used to do a lot of interviews on Vlad TV. And they were talking about, MCs that people think are great. He mentions Black Thought, and Vlad was like, I don't know. Like, and he's really he literally was like, I don't know if I would put him up there with like a Nas or a Jay-Z. He's like, are you kidding me? He said, what are you talking about? So they're having a back and forth about it. And then, I don't know, 2-3 months later, that freestyle comes out. Oh. So they revisit the conversation.
Hey, peace to Vlad then, because probably
they revisit the conversation. He said, you know what? I was wrong. He said, I'll admit it, I was wrong. He said that he put the world on notice. You know what I mean? I more so kind of looked at him as just, okay, yes, he can rap, but it's like, is he really, really up there with, all these guys we consider GOATs? He said, listening to that freestyle there, I was wrong. He said, I just came out, I apologize, I was wrong. He's one of those guys.
It's crazy what a freestyle will do.
Yeah, it was impactful.
And this is a different term of freestyle, not
right,
top,
not lyrically off the top.
But we're saying just a demonstration, a showcasing of your abilities.
But some of that was definitely off the top. Like some of it was, you know what I mean? That wasn't all written. Some of that really was off the top. But still, he just went so crazy on there. Now he's getting the love he really always should have gotten.
Right.
But that really now ended all debates that no, you got to put this dude in your top 10, 15, 20, whatever. Yeah. You have to put him in there now.
Because it's like a performance. I mean, you're doing a performance.
Yes.
Like that. So
he already had the catalog for it, but that was the actual big viral moment that really said, nope, he's really that dude.
Yeah.
And this album was part of that groundwork that led to what we saw. Absolutely.
Yeah. So peace to the Roots. The Roots is a staple group, man. In hip hop, they're like one of one.
Major shout out to Questlove too.
Yeah.
Because
big time.
This dude is like a musical encyclopedia for real.
To history, to music.
He knows everything about music. I mean, all genres. It's unbelievable the stories he can tell, the things he knows about artists. It's unreal. His podcast, by the way, is one of my favorites. His podcast is one of my favorites. I've learned so much through his podcast. Some of my favorite episodes were with Usher was one of my favorites. He had a couple other really good ones on there, but I just had to shout out.
Oh,
that
good shout out.
podcast.
No, good shout out.
Great.
That's good that you covered that.
Great podcast.
Yeah. So peace to this whole group. Peace to the Roots. One of one. We don't have another group like that. So definitely giving them their flowers. For everybody else, you know that we're dropping episodes every Monday. You know, and we are right now at episode like 110 or so. So we're making our way to 200 now. That's the new drop, and we're working hard for you guys. So we asked, you know, we're not asking for money right now. We're asking just if you could share, like, comment, you know, do all those little things that help promote the show. If you're down with what we do, like if you've enjoyed the content, if you've taken anything away from this, all we ask is if you please share and share the love. That goes a long way for us, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The 1.6 thousand subscribers don't correlate with the singular likes
The stats
on
don't add
videos. If we can at least get, you know, the double figures, you know, 50 plus likes on each video, that helps expand us and gets us out there to more listeners like you guys who subscribe to these type of podcasts. And of course, and always remember where you get your hip hop podcast from, and make sure that the three hosts all freestyle off the top of the dome every 5 episodes. Because if they don't, it's a lack thereof.
That's a good point. Yeah. And then, or you know, make sure that they're dropping an album, because you know that's something that that's coming along the way as well. So down the pipeline.
For a while, you were dropping an album every episode.
No,
remember
oh yeah. Every Monday we're dropping an album. Crazy. That's like freaking nuts. That's like Tupac level.
Damn near
Dropping an album every. So so definitely that's something to consider though, because a lot of people who talk about hip hop don't do hip hop either. So
on any level.
Yeah, so that's also
like not even a beginner level.
Yeah, and sometimes you see them so young, it's like you don't even have the experience yet to even know about these artists, you know. And
can we just do fake reacts to like us listening to Big L for the first time? Can we do that? Just be like, oh,
go
wow,
viral.
it's really good.
Yeah. So for sure, share, like, do all those good stuff.
Yes, of
Mark,
course.
go ahead, let them have it.
To the MCs, if you drop a mic, drop a like.
Please drop a like.
And Illadelph to the lieutenant,
Drop the
Black
like.
Thought, the infinite.
Go
Watch how
against
I'm
the grain.
spitting it from here to
Infinitely
all
go against the
Yes.
grain.
all far from here to Delaware.
Jeez.